Obligatory podcast intro.
Hey, you're listening to 100 Years of Continuity with Matt and Adam, where we discuss comics and their roughly 100-year history. So, real quick, premise of the show. We both read a comic, discuss stuff surrounding the comic, comics in general. Just
go a little more mainstream with this one.
It's just a jumping off point is the comic we read. So you want to tell them what comic we read?
Oh yeah, so we got The Amazing Spider-Man. It's called Spider Island. Now this was a large book, very large, and it's a collaboration with quite a few writers.
It's a collection of quite a few.
Artists more so. Dan Slott is the writer. You got Fred Van Lente, Dan Slott again, Christos Gage, Rick Remender.
Yep.
So a lot of different writers for multiple stories. Tons of artists across each
different titles,
issue.
By the way, these are Venom titles.
I was going to get into that.
Spider-Man.
So this collects the Amazing Spider-Man episode number 666 to 673.
Yep.
Also, Amazing Spider-Man Infested. Spider Island Deadly Foes, which those are individual comics.
Yep.
And then it collects Venom number 6 through 9. So whatever series Venom had started then, it was on 6 through 9. So that's what they collected.
The Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
series.
So agent stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
Agent
this is a
Venom.
very large book. It encompasses a lot. There's a lot of characters.
So if we tried to name all the characters, we'd be here all night. No joke.
Just real quick, the cover of the hardback cover we have is Cloak and Dagger, and all of their suits are Spider-Man suits,
Themed,
which is so cool. We'll put it up on the YouTube video.
Yes.
This is a great cover.
Yes.
It has Black Panther and Shang-Chi in Spider-Man uniforms, and it's their uniforms, but
Spider-Man-ified.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's her name? Jessica Drew? What's her name?
The
Spider-Woman.
Yeah, Spider-Woman.
Yeah, I forgot her name.
It's something Drew.
Yeah. And then Captain America and a weird... So he's the only one kind of not doing the Spider-Man thing.
Right.
But that is a Spider-Man suit, actually.
Yes.
My bad.
Yeah.
Iron Fist. And then Luke Cage. Everyone's decked out in Spider-Man gear.
It's really cool.
Very cool.
So the overarching... if we're going to explain it first, and then we'll kind of go into little parts here and there, talk about stuff outside of this comic. So this is a expansive story. It's told across, 7 different titles, 8 different titles at least.
Yep.
Meaning not individual comics. I mean Amazing Spider-Man. I mean Venom.
Yes.
All like,
And it's an event. So if you don't know, when Marvel does an event, it is a large event that is happening with all across multiple series. So if I'm reading an X-Men comic and then Adam likes to read the solo Wolverine comic, and then he also likes to read a solo Captain America Iron Man comic or something like that, and I'm reading another one, that event is happening with each
across
weekly, monthly issue that is coming out.
Yeah.
So if he's grabbing an Iron Man for the month and I'm grabbing a Captain America, they're both dealing with the same situation. So when this collects Amazing Spider-Man and Venom, it's all connected. It's all one.
all relevant stories.
It's an event that is happening across and during all of their storylines.
So instead of having to pull your hair out trying to figure out which comic comes after which comic, because there are times where Venom number 6 is there, and then to finish or to continue the story exactly where you should, it's Amazing Spider-Man number 670 whatever. So that happens where you're like reading a title, and not only do you need to get the other titles, but you need to like switch back and forth
exactly
between them to get your story
and
told.
That's why I love these, because it just says, hey, here's the order.
Yeah.
Read it. This is all going to be
Love
relevant and concise. There
Love
you go.
it. It's so makes me so happy. Okay.
Because the events are hard to keep up
It
with.
is. DC, Marvel, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
they both do it.
Events are hard. Okay, so this story...
Get on the train, bitch.
picks up with Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is just kind of having problems. He doesn't have his spider sense.
What?
Some shit happened to him. It happened
Him?
right before this. So Shang-Chi starts training him how to fight
Oh, yeah,
better.
yeah.
Because he no longer has his spider sense.
They created a
His
new
own-
fighting technique.
his own fighting
The
style.
way of the spider.
Yes, sir.
Sick.
So he's compensating for not having a spider sense anymore. So he's actually learning how to fight that complements his acrobatics and all that. So Shang-Chi and him are working on that. His life's actually going not the worst. He's got a good girlfriend, a different girlfriend. I forget her name.
Yeah.
Nora, maybe.
I don't remember.
She's not one of the main ones, but she's really cool. She's a detective, a police officer. So he's living his life, whatever. So spoilers, all by the way, for everything. So we see
Yes,
Jackal.
for all of this.
We see Jackal, and we see him scheming and plotting with something Spider-Man DNA.
Which is a old Spider-Man bad
Oh
guy.
yeah, he's the one that cloned Spider-Man a bunch of times.
And Ben Riley, Kane Parker,
Kane.
all those guys that came from.
the chick he made,
Oh,
the
yeah,
fake
yeah.
Gwen Stacy or whatever.
That's right. So he's all. This is his shtick. This is what he does.
He's been around forever, and all he does is clone stuff, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Anything with genetics, making spider people,
Fuck, him and Sinister need to get together. Have a
cross genetic.
have
love.
a date. Yeah.
Can imagine how much they could share and bring to our wonderful world.
Be like, so what are you into? And they'd be like, dude,
Did we just become best friends?
I think so.
I think so.
That's exactly what I'm into.
So we see Jackal. He's scheming. He's got two giant Spider-Men next to him. He's kind of talking about how smart he is, but he's talking to somebody in the shadows, a hot chick by her silhouette, who's like obviously in charge. So Jackal, like I said, spoilers. We're just getting straight into it. So Jackal infects everybody in Manhattan.
The
In
entire
Manhattan.
island. Everyone.
We find out later that he used infected bed bugs that had a virus that would turn or to give everyone spider powers.
Yeah,
So that's how it starts.
Everyone's like, they feel themselves stronger. They got spider sense. They they learn how to use their webs like immediately.
Not everybody at first, but a lot of people at once. So you start seeing all these people getting powers. We know that it's Jackal doing this, whatever. He's got his cool two minions that are two giant spider guys. They look mostly humanoid with like spiderish faces and the extra legs and stuff.
Right. The tarantula is
Yeah,
one of them.
Tarantula and Spider King. So they're very important, honestly. They're like probably the second most important characters in
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Giving everyone in Manhattan, like it's hard to verbalize it and conceptualize this for you.
Yes.
So without reading it, but like everyone having spider powers, everyone being this strong and this agile and flexible. I mean, even the fat guys
Yeah,
are like
everybody,
swinging
Kids,
and jumping
whatever.
around. Everyone. So crime starts going off. People start putting on Spider-Man masks and start robbing the stores. And then the store clerks,
They get given Spider-Man outfits. You remember that?
the mail, they start dropping.
All at the
Yep.
same time. They all get different Spider-Man
So
costumes.
the Jackal planned this out. Everyone's getting
Yes.
so there's guys, Spider-Man mask robbing the convenience store, and the convenience store clerk is also a spider badass now. So
Breaks
he's
the
fighting
gun or
back.
what- yeah.
Like, it is pandemonium.
Yes.
People are having fun. People are utilizing it for crime. It is a crazy, wild
True
time.
gamut of everything that people would really do.
Yeah, it was very realistic.
Yes.
in that sense.
It was amazing. That part is dope.
Right.
So we know Jackal's doing his thing. And then we start but then we start getting like Venom like story. That actually technically is a little further along. But my point is that you jump from Amazing Spider-Man a few in a row, and then you go to Venom to get the continued storyline. So Venom is Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
And-
break this down for him because
Yes.
so
People don't necessarily know.
because it's not just Venom. Like
Yes.
it's
So
a lot of shit has happened.
at this point, Eddie Brock, the original host of the symbiote, is no longer the host of the black and white Venom symbiote.
Right. So the OG is
OG
they're not
original
together.
Brock is no longer with OG Venom.
They broke up.
Yeah, basically. So at this point, our character Flash Thompson, who was originally a bully
Spider-Man's
to Spider-Man, and eventually kind of became friends with him because Spider-Man inspired him to be a better person.
He dick rides Spider-Man.
He loves
so
him more than
hard.
anybody else in
Hates
there.
Peter. Dick rides Spider-Man
Yeah.
so hard.
And then eventually Spider-Man like gets him to be a better person. He stops being a bully. He starts being he becomes a
Soldier, right? Yep.
Army, I believe. It doesn't matter. He joined the military. He went overseas, got his legs, boom, blown off.
blown off.
So he's coming back. He's, I'm sad because I have no legs, which you should be.
Yeah, should we call Tony or T'Challa, see if they
Yeah.
can make legs?
Luckily-
fire that guy.
Lu-
And don't ever bring that up again.
Don't bring logical fixes in here. We don't want none of that.
What about Reed Richards?
Yeah,
Shut up.
Shut your fucking mouth. Okay.
I think Spider-Man's pretty smart too. He
So-
might be able to do it. Shut the fuck up.
At this point, the military had ownership of the Venom symbiote. Brock no longer has it.
They own it.
He no longer has the Venom symbiote. So they're
Copywritten
trying to.
TM.
The whole idea is for Flash Thompson to become the new host to the symbiote and use it in the capacity of being a soldier.
Right.
So instead of being a giant monster who does what the Venom wants to do, what the symbiote wants to do, they want him to be in control. They want him to be in the driver's seat, which Brock originally started to become.
Right.
So he does that. We don't see the beginning of that. This is already in his story.
Yeah, he's already been going.
There's actually a page that kind of breaks down. You remember that? There's a 2-page spread where
Yeah.
it breaks down his recent
Oh
history.
yeah, it shows him doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives him legs real quick.
yeah.
Symbiote gives him legs. So when he's Agent Venom is what they're calling him.
Yep.
He can walk and run and everything. Still has the same spider powers. He also looks like a soldier.
Yes, that's what I was going to get at.
Looks
Yeah.
badass.
He does. He's got like shoulder pads. He's got tactical gear. He uses guns.
Yep.
Most of the time.
He's
That
a
made me
gun-toting
so happy.
Spider, Venom character.
The
That's
amount
awesome.
of superheroes that like actively use guns and kill people with it is like not high.
Yeah.
You go to the anti-heroes and stuff, yeah, they kill people or whatever. But you go super mainstream, they basically don't
Punisher.
use guns. And that's what I mean.
Punisher
like,
and Deadpool.
yeah. Oh, I mean, you could keep listing, but
I couldn't
super
think of any more
mainstream.
right off the.
Super mainstream ones
Name one.
that are like, I mean, we were just talking about it. Bucky Cap would just murder.
He's not.
people.
Well, he's mainstream now, but he
Yeah.
never was.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just saying
okay.
that it's not a big list. You're
Right.
right. So that's the backstory for the new Venom. He looks badass. He's Flash Thompson. He's in control of the symbiote. So he goes in. Gets called in by the military to come in and stop something. He eventually
Just deal with the spider
deal with this
pandemonium
Spider-Man
shit.
pandemonium. So around this, I don't want to jump into that far yet. So around this time, they, because I'm just gonna hit the high points. I'm not gonna get detailed. So people start changing. They're trying to leave the city. The government doesn't want them to leave city.
Oh yeah,
'cause
they shut
they
it
shut
down.
the whole island
they're
down,
like,
and
no
that
one's
needs to be
leaving.
clear. No one in, no one out. And then like there's battles with the superheroes and just humans, or not humans, the spider humans. They're trying to not hurt them because they're really just
Right.
civilians.
And these superheroes who are already strong and badass now have
Some of 'em.
Spider-Man's powers.
human
which,
ones.
If y'all don't know, like in the comics, Spider-Man is fucking strong
Super
as
strong.
shit. Like he
Super
pulls his punches, man. I think I've heard him equated to a normal Asgardian.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
just
that
a
was in the
normal
Siege.
Asgardian Siege, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's his average strength.
Yeah.
Which means he can be
Go
stronger.
higher, yeah.
So
for sure.
very strong. Now all these characters, all these people are getting this strength in them.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
is insane.
And they're not going to pull their punches.
Exactly.
They,
They
say
don't
that
know
in
that.
it.
Yep.
What's his name's fighting one of the hobgoblins in it. Well, I was going to completely forget that. Hobgoblins in it, who used to be one of my favorite characters when I was Demon Goblin and Hobgoblin.
Right.
Loved him. He's actually got an issue or two in here.
Nice.
And he fights a normal guy who just got spider powers, and the guy's whooping him.
Yeah.
Demon Goblin's like tough as hell. He's got super strength. He's got Sonic Scream. He's got all this stuff, and he's fighting a regular guy who just got spider powers.
Yeah.
And he loses.
Right. That's how fucking
That's how strong Spider-Man is.
Yeah, like a lot of people I don't think they know.
No. So at this point, there's been tons of pandemonium. Obviously, Reed Richards and all the scientists are trying to figure out a cure. That's kind of in the backstory. I'd like to bring this up. They have like a mystery scientist, and it ends up being Morbius.
Oh yeah,
Morbius is like
that's
the
right.
mystery scientist. I thought that was cool.
And Madam Web's in this.
Madam
Just
Web's
to
throughout the whole friggin' thing.
bring up the awful.
Yeah. So-
another podcast they call it SPUM. Sony Pictures Universe.
Oh, that's
Sony Pictures Universe Marvel movies. The SPUM
hurts.
universe.
That hurts my chest,
It's
bro.
the Weekly Planet
Makes
dudes
me-
do
ugh.
that. Which is like Morbius and Madam Web.
Yeah, I got
And
you.
Madam Web is actually cool in the comics. She's
She
actually
is.
doing
She
shit.
is. And this is a different Madam Web, by the way, not original Madam Web.
What's her name? They said her name.
They
it's,
do.
It's her. It's the main
not
girl.
it's
Boy.
Arachne is what she called now, and then she goes, "No, you can say you're Madam Web." So it wasn't the original Madam Web.
Oh, well, there's two? Is there the
No,
old
Madam
one and
Web's
the young
gone,
one?
dead or whatever. She's the new one.
Okay, so
she can walk
redhead.
around.
She's
Yes.
yeah. She doesn't have
Yeah,
the weird
yeah.
mermaid thing.
Exactly.
Or whatever the fuck
So
that
she's
is.
been out this whole thing talking about prophecies, this, prophecies, that.
Right.
And through her, actually they just do a reveal. But we find out she's called the Queen or Spider Queen. She's actually got a history. She's actually been around for a long
That's
time.
that other girl,
Yeah,
right?
the chick who's in charge.
So the sexy girl that is
In the-
dealing with the jackal.
Yeah, she's
That's
the one.
queen.
Yes, she called it either Spider Queen or the Queen. So she comes from the Super Soldier program, where they like combined Spider-Man shit with Captain America shit.
Oh, so way later.
And so she was like better than both of them.
She's fucking deep.
Super strong. She fucking dominates them in those old comics. Like they
Yeah.
just like the super bad guys usually do.
Well, they
super
have
villains.
to.
They have to be stronger than them, so they always have to team up.
And then
whatever.
team up and then computer clickety clack
Yes.
clack, punch him harder
Yeah.
now.
MacGuffin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so she like that died back then, or they thought she died or whatever, and then because of comics, she's
Right.
not dead.
Comics
And
got a
she's-
comics.
She's here. She and the more people she turns into spider people, the more powerful she gets.
So now they're turning now. They're
Yeah,
not
this
just
is the point where they're okay. So I started to say it, and then we
Yeah.
got all that other information. So everybody has their cool spider powers, and then slowly they start like getting more hair.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of get fangs and shit. Some people just straight up like instantly turn into giant
I think
spiders.
the Shocker was the first one.
Yeah,
He's
the
like,
first one
"What
you
the
see.
fuck?"
He
Yeah.
has like 6 arms and 2 legs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Help me!" Basically,
Yeah.
he's like, "Please, please."
I'm over it, bro.
Yeah, he goes, "It was cool at first."
I'm
So
over
he
it.
takes off his mask and you see he's turning into a spider. Everybody starts turning into a spider. It's all kind of on like a time.
Mindless too.
Yes, you are no longer just a person
Yeah.
and a spider. You're like attack everything.
Yeah, it's not Adam as a spider.
No.
It's a fucking spider
It's a
now.
dangerous giant
Mindless
spider.
monster.
And at this point, you see Spider-Man's girlfriend turns into a giant
Yep.
mindless spider and
Yeah.
runs away. He's like, "I'm gonna take you in. We're gonna give you we'll give you a cure, and then we'll turn you, and you'll be fine."
Yeah.
And then he looks around, and there's 20 million of them. He goes, "Which one was her?" It was
Oh,
actually was
yeah.
sad, funny at the same
I
time.
remember that. And this is like pandemonium because the superheroes are still out there. They're fighting. They're
Everything's going
turning.
off.
It's
So
insane.
throughout this, we've also seen little clips of one of my favorite characters ever, Anti-Venom.
Oh yeah, here we go. Get into
So
this.
Brock is no longer Venom. Brock has
Mm-hmm.
a different version of a symbiote. Like it came from Venom, right?
I think so.
It had
I
to have.
could
Where
be
else would it
wrong.
be
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it came from Venom. So you know how Venom is 90% black with his white lines and white outlines. Imagine the opposite, but a demon version. So 90% white with a black
So
semi-similar.
the colors reverse negative, I guess. And
Just
then
perfect reverse.
He's really jagged, clawy,
Skinny looking. He's
skinny.
not buff.
He's not big. Yeah,
he's not buff
big.
at all.
Tall and skinny.
Tall and skinny.
Very. He's very freaky looking. Like,
His
pretty
proportions
creepy.
are off, and his fingers are constantly bigger.
Looks scary as
He's
shit.
got like tendrils, like almost wisping up from his head, like almost like smoke would.
Yeah, crazy
It's super
teeth.
cool. So
Sharp ass jawline.
So like immediately we see that Venom is curing people that have the
Yeah.
spider disease.
Yeah, I love this.
He's like against their will because this was at the point where they hadn't even started turning into spiders yet.
And I mean, if that dude shows up, when y'all see
What are you
him,
gonna do?
If that dude shows up, is like, come give me a hug, I'll help you. You're like, fuck no,
No, he looks like a demon.
hell
for
no,
real.
this thing is about to eat me.
like even like in a world where you see crazy like superheroes and stuff.
yeah, that would
he
still
looks like a
turn
demon.
me off. Like I'd be
He's
like,
scary.
no, I do not trust that this thing wants to help me.
It's so scary.
So,
he's-
y'all see it on the YouTube.
He's
looks
friggin'
crazy.
healing people before they even started turning into spiders because
Mm-hmm.
he knows. And then people started turning into spiders. Now they're coming to him. At first they were running, but now they're turning into friggin'
They're, like,
spiders.
worshiping
Please,
him.
yes,
It's
that's
like-
exactly what happens. He creates a cult around him.
Like, immediately.
But like pretty much the most positive cult you could ever be
Well,
in
yeah,
because
he's
genuinely
actually helping.
Yeah, he actually does what he says he's gonna do.
And Eddie Brock is an all right dude for the most part.
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
now.
yeah. So he starts healing people, and the word gets out finally. So the government hollers at Venom. Flash Thompson Venom says, "Hey, the cure is here. We just need you to go in and get him to come in and help us. He's already helping people. Go there,
Yeah.
ask him. He'll come in." So he gets there, and the symbiote gets pissed that he sees Brock. He goes, fuck that, and turns into Big Venom. He's no longer looks like little.
That's right. I remember this.
Regular Venom.
He's
He
not
gets bigger.
Agent Venom anymore.
No, he looks like regular Venom and just instantly tries to kill fucking Anti-Venom. So if you didn't know, the symbiote is obsessed with its prior host, meaning Spider-Man and Brock. So obviously Spider-Man's kind of his biggest. Now it's the love-hate thing. He wanted to be with him, but he hates him because he can or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it is with Brock at this point.
Right. You
not
bastard!
with Brock, with Flash, with
Flash,
regular Venom.
right.
So
Wait, real quick. Aren't Flash and Venom like really close? Can't he like control him better than Brock ever could?
Well,
like,
he
they
does the
mention
correct
something like that?
size, and for whatever reason, I know they say it somewhere.
They say
I have
something
to.
about them being pretty close or very
Yes.
good or very quick.
They say that like they like kind of beat around the bush, but yeah, they mention stuff like
something
that.
to that effect. He may
Yes.
not be closer than Brock was, but like I know there was something with their relationship that was a little
For
crazy.
how new he is,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
as good as Brock was after a long time.
Right,
the best
right,
way to
right,
say
right.
it. So Venom's there trying to beat up Venom or Anti-Venom, and he's not supposed to be doing that. He's supposed to be politely asking him to come in, but that's not what happens. They have a big knockout, drag out brawl, and Anti-Venom just gives up. He's like, dude, what is your deal?
Yeah,
like, stops.
I'm not trying to fight.
So Venom like webs him up like old school Spider-Man comics and leaves him outside of Baxter Building or wherever Reed Richards
they were at a
is.
church, right? Oh, took him to Reed. That's
he took
right.
him to Reed Richards or whatever. Now they have something to make the cure, and they're talking to Anti-Venom, Brock. They're like, hey, man, what's your deal? And he goes, what do you mean? They go, why didn't you come in? He goes, Venom showed up and tried to kill me. And they go, no, he told you to come in. He goes, he didn't say anything
didn't tell
about
me
that.
shit.
He just jumped on me and tried to kill me. And they're like, no, they literally say this. It was really cheesy. No, he's the good guy. And then Brock's like, he is not a good guy.
I know what I saw.
Yeah, he's like, don't be fooled. He is not a good guy.
And don't bring up the fact I look like a fucking demon.
Demon,
okay?
right? And then like he hops down out of the webbing like he could have just jumped out. Like he just
He's
let
a
it happen.
Good guy.
And then he goes, I would love to help y'all. Please lead the way.
Yeah,
he's
right.
like he definitely has a messiah complex at this point, but he's genuine in it.
Hey,
He's not
if you
doing
can back
it for
it
both.
up,
Exactly.
and you're not a
he
prick,
really is helping.
Why not?
So
and I really did like those. It's like 2 or 3 issues of Venom, and that was like all of that stuff, the church stuff, the
Right.
Venom, Anti-Venom. That stuff is 3.
It's
very
it's
cool.
cool. It is.
I enjoyed that a lot.
It is. So we're almost towards the wrap up. I know this is the longest
Ooh,
description.
we're getting to my stuff.
But right.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just wrapping up with the story, and then we're gonna go periphery.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna distribute this cure. They have a
right.
cure. How are they gonna do it? I think actually Smythe explains
Yeah,
it
they made a big
right
deal,
before
like, this motherfucker's here.
right before J. Jonah Jameson bites his fucking head off.
That was crazy.
He's like, I sentence you to death. And he
Yeah.
like bites his head off, basically. So like he kind of explains, and they use the Doc robots, right? It's the Doc
Yep.
robots to run
Yeah.
around, and because there's million of them or whatever.
Are they dropping them off or shooting them? I don't remember.
I don't remember. They're
like
the
shooting
bots
them, like-
come out, and then they like
Yeah.
shoot the people or something. So they use that. Spider-Man's like controlling it. Now the Spider Queen has come out of her lair. She's like
a giant monster.
so like she fights. Oh god damn! So Tarantula and Spider King have been important throughout this. I skipped it. You find out
Yeah.
Spider King is friggin' Captain America. She captured Captain America and turned him into a giant monster. And then you find out that Tarantula is actually Kane. Kane. Spectacular Spider-Man. Who's a clone of Peter Parker, if you don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. That's super cool. I didn't expect either of those because they don't explain who it is.
Yeah.
So it's like a reveal.
Well, he said it was Kane, but you didn't, unless you knew who it was.
Right.
But they never said who Spider King was.
Yeah, so like they finally like capture Spider King, figure out that it's Captain America, whatever. They finally cure him too. So him and Spider-Man fight the Queen in her human form.
Right.
So they're kind of whooping her, and then Spider-Man was it Spider-Man or was it Kane? It had to be Spider-Man. Uses Captain America's shield and like kills the Spider Queen. Like shoves the shield into her back, and like she falls on the ground.
Yeah.
And Captain America's like, sometimes you got to do that. Blah blah blah. It was
Right.
necessary. Blah blah blah.
And he's freaking out. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's a little bitch.
Exactly. And then as they're walking away, giant like mountain of webs and goop shoots out of Spider Queen's back,
yeah.
and then she forms into the biggest friggin' spider you've ever seen, even uglier than a regular spider. Somehow they made
There's
a
some
spider.
super cute spiders out
That's
there.
what I mean. Uglier than any spider you've
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
seen.
just
they did
uglier
it.
than the ugly ones.
Yes,
right. Yeah, no,
exactly.
she was pretty rough. Giant. So like I'm kind of fuzzy on her plan. I don't remember.
She wanted
exactly
to take
what
over. Whenever she turned all those people into spiders, that's what gave her all the power to become Spider Queen.
That's right. That's
so it was
right.
making her god. She gets the power from the web of life or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like some Madam Web shit
Yes,
she's
exactly.
dealing with as well.
Exactly.
Okay, yes, giant monster. Yeah.
Yeah, so now she's a giant friggin' monster, and now Spider-Man, Kane, and Captain America, and other people, right?
a lot of
other people show up.
Yeah, Miss Marvel's there.
Yeah, so they're
Fucking-
all kind of fighting. They're all doing this, and Madam Web's like, "Come on, Spider-Man, you got to kill this guy."
All right, hold up. Let
You-
me,
you do it,
let
you
me-
do it,
let
you
me
do it.
I love this.
do
Okay,
it.
so Madam Web is like, because she can see shit. So she's like, listen, I've seen the way this plays out. She has to die. And Peter Parker is like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So while this is happening, she's trying to convince Peter, like, listen, man, everyone's going to die
Yep.
if you do not kill this person.
Yeah.
So concurrently, while this is happening, Kane is talking to Miss Marvel, and she's like talking shit, like calling him like, hey, loser Peter or whatever. Like, you know, also before they went out to fight, Peter had given Kane
got
a Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, he got
and
cured.
He got cured, and then he gave him this badass suit.
Yep.
That
New suit.
It had some
It
abilities.
was invisible,
Invisible,
off, which funny he
Off.
said that, and then sonic shielding.
and off was the white color,
White
which
color.
looks so sick.
Sonic shielding was
It's
the
very
other one.
high tech looking shield. If you've played the PlayStation game, I'm pretty sure it's on there.
The like neon.
It's the black with the glowing white lines that light up green, blue, or
Orange.
green,
Green,
orange,
white,
and
orange.
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so Kane has that suit. Peter's there. He's talking to Madam Web, and she's like, or no, sorry, Kane is talking to Miss Marvel, and she's like, me and Peter have this move, and he's like, if he knows it, I know it. And she's like, well, I'm gonna spin you around 3 times. So she launches Kane at the Queen. And Kane has these spider stingers that come out of his wrist.
Yeah,
They're like
something that
blades.
Spider-Man doesn't have.
He doesn't have them. So Madam Web, and this is the coolest part of the whole fucking comic book.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God. She's like, it wasn't Peter. She was like, it was you. Like, it was Kane. Kane is the one who could cross the line. And Miss Marvel launches Kane with the stingers out straight through the Queen's mouth.
Yeah.
Her mouth is open. She's screaming. He goes through the mouth and out the back of her neck.
Whole body, by the way.
Yeah.
Just
And
straight through.
She's like, oh, you're the one who had to do it, because Kane don't give a fuck. Kane's like, yeah, I'll kill that monster.
Yeah.
I have no hangups like Peter.
Why would you?
Why
It's
wouldn't
a giant
I?
evil
Like,
monster.
Yeah, that's some selfish shit on
That's
Peter's
insane.
part, for as far as I'm concerned. Kane was
It
like,
is.
I can end this right now, and I'm gonna do it. So launches, kills it. The Queen's done.
Yeah.
Kane goes out as a fucking hero,
A G.
which normally he is a bad guy.
Yeah, in the older comics, he was usually
Mm-hmm.
portrayed as a bad guy.
Because Ben Reilly was another clone who was a good guy, and he was the Scarlet Spider.
Yes.
And then when Kane came around, he was the bad guy. He was also the Tarantula. I think he had that form quite a few times.
He was always
Or was
ugly as
always
balls.
like that. Yeah,
He
exactly.
kind of looked like Deadpool.
So I
at
wanted
some
to say
point.
that because that was my favorite
It was
part.
dope. It genuinely-
so sick. I was looking at it earlier today again, and it still gets me hype. I love it.
It's sick. It really is. It's a very good crescendo. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I've said it on another episode of our podcast, Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam, that
Cross promotion.
I love it when comics will take like a small character, like like Nomad. You mentioned it in there.
Yeah, in the
small-
92 or whatever.
Yep, small character or insignificant as far as the story goes, and makes them the hero, the focal point, the one that has to save the day. I love that shit.
dope. I
So the
love
fact that Kane is not on the cover, he's barely in the comic book in human form.
Yeah.
And he's the
Barely.
one who ends up being the hero.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
It's
So
amazing.
before you get into fun facts and trivia,
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
go into my Kane
Yes,
stuff?
of course, of course.
Okay, so That wraps it up. All the
He
people
sneaks away, by the way.
Yeah, he sneaks away. All the people lose their spider powers. Yep. They all go back to normal, except the ones that were killed. Spider Queen gets cleaned up and all that shit. Everything wraps up. Nice bow.
She gets picked up by the Jackal, who says that was actually his plan the entire time. He needed her dead body. And she had actually blown away one of the other Jackals. And he goes, she only blew away one of the clones. And then the other guy goes, I looked in the computer thing and it said that other guy was the original Jackal. He goes, you don't think I can change that if I want? So at the end, Jackal acts or did plan the entire thing to happen so he could get some Spider Queen DNA. Sorry, I had to say that.
Which, I mean, damn.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. Comic book.
Comic
Marvel.
book.
So anyway,
right,
after this is so awesome for us.
We had to talk about it.
Being comic lovers, this was why we did Spider-Man. Other than it being a perfect fit for this show.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this. So after this comic, I was like kind of really into Kane. I was very interested. I love it when a bad guy's a good guy, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? Me and Adam and I started researching, and what we found out was that after this, Kane ends up going to Mexico, but on his way, he actually stops into Houston and becomes Houston's first, not superhero, but Houston's first Spider-Man, Houston's first big mainstream hero, it being a Spider-Man. And he changed his name to Scarlet Spider, and he got a dope-ass red and black costume.
This costume is
so sick. And they really did a good job. I think it was 25 issues. I could be wrong. 25 to 50.
For the whole arc.
For
not
the whole
just
arc,
in Houston.
yeah. So he doesn't stay here.
No.
He ends up leaving because as a Spider-Man, if you know Houston, outside of downtown, there is no buildings.
There are no tall buildings.
It's super flat, and you got trees and maybe cars and freaking what's the street lights.
Yeah.
So they did really good in the comic on touching on things here. Like he complained, he was like, my God, it's so hot.
Yeah.
He's like, my sweat is sweating.
Yeah.
This is so bad. He was swinging and he ran out of buildings and was like, what the hell? I think there was a part where he's like, I need to make it to League City, which is close to where we live.
Yeah.
And he was on top of a taxi.
Cab. He had to take a taxi, basically.
Was he on top or did he get in?
I think he was on top, actually.
I think he was on top, and then eventually started using street lights and got away. Yeah. So a city not really well
designed for
Spider-Man. For a Spider-Man. But the fact that it was Houston and he stopped off and felt, I have to save this. I have to defeat these bad guys.
Houston's so big.
So cool. Houston's gigantic.
Yeah.
But flat.
Yeah.
And very spread out.
Yep.
We have two skylines.
Yeah.
And one of them is very small and separated, and it's not really a skyline.
No.
Now, our downtown is very large. Like
area-wise, yeah.
Yeah, so he could do that, especially if he was dealing with but it's not New York. It's not.
It
as
doesn't make the
huge
same
as
sense.
Chicago or New York.
It doesn't make sense like one of those cities.
No, it doesn't. But I really love and appreciate that they were like, we're going to do Houston, because even within the comic,
we get no love.
And I hate this. Houston gets no love for a lot of things. Yeah. For anything, really. It gets no love.
Super comic books, though.
Yeah, comic books, you never. Deadpool, we heard rapping some Scarface and Ghetto Boys.
The one you just did, Vice, was in Texas, though.
Yeah, they went to San Antonio. Yeah. That was really cool. But to be in actual Houston, not just Texas, but in Houston. Yeah. And to be mentioning the cities that we lived in and are from, and it's just, it was really cool. Yes. And within the comic, they're introducing other superhero characters, which are fucking lame. Yep. And go into the whole notion that people don't know about Texas.
Yeah, it's obvious.
It's like Lone Star, and he's a fucking cowboy. Yep. We are the fourth biggest city in the country.
Like sometimes third, or we're about to be third. I believe.
There's 8 million people, 6 million people here. It's so
added
super
the
diverse.
Metro area, like all the stuff that touches Houston. People do not understand that.
It's huge. Okay, we don't all wear cowboy and anyway, it's just silly to me when they do that. So to have a straight up angry, go hard, powerful, in my opinion, could hang, possibly even beat Peter Parker in a fight.
He could.
Kane is that.
He would.
You saying without a doubt?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think so too.
Especially because Peter's going to hold back. Yeah. If I'm not even going like that, but just pure strength and whatever, I would say I'd say Kane for real.
Yeah, I would too. He can talk to spiders.
With no bias.
He can heal. He's got the
He heals
stingers.
really good.
He has other stuff that Peter does not have.
Yeah.
And he's just as strong, if not stronger. So he's a beast.
He's dope.
And he came to Houston for a while, which I loved. So awesome.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that was whenever that happened, or whenever we were reading that. Like, I was some of the most jazzed I've ever been.
I flipped. I remember calling you.
It was a big deal.
Being like, dude, guess where he's going?
we're obviously super nerds
Because we just read this.
Yes,
Oh, I guess it had just come out.
I think so.
Yeah, because that's when we were going
We
like,
were
every
reading.
day.
Didn't we read individual comics of the Spider-Man?
Spider Island? No,
No,
I bought
no.
this.
Not Spider Island.
Jesus.
The Scarlet Spider Houston stuff.
Oh, I
Didn't
bought
we?
the paperbacks as they came out.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And we might have bought. I think I bought the first two.
I
the
swear.
single comics because I was so psyched and I didn't want to wait.
I'm almost positive you did.
Oh, it's so cool. I
Yeah.
still think it's so cool now.
Yeah.
Get Marvel. Give Houston a dope ass superhero that
Who's
we
not
can
wearing
keep.
a cowboy hat.
That's not a cowboy oriented anything.
Yeah.
Just give us a regular
Make him
cool dude.
Asian. It doesn't fucking
Give us
matter.
a cool give us a cool Asian dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he can fly. Make him fly.
People don't know that Houston is literally the most diverse major city in America. We beat out
Really
New
is.
York.
Yeah.
We did.
Did we?
So, yes.
And if that's wrong, we don't give a shit.
No, don't at me. I don't care.
Yeah, if you do, at Adam.
No, don't.
But for real, Marvel, give us a good
Yes.
superhero that we can keep, and he stays here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, exactly. That would be just ingrained people, fans. You just automatically have fans because, like
Exactly.
us, we're starved for any sort of superhero.
When we hear Houston in songs or movies, we love it.
it's a big deal.
And also, we have the port, we have downtown, we
It's
have
huge.
gangs,
It's a big
cartels. There's lots of material to write a superhero
Yeah.
into here.
We're
And also, give us a cool
Trafficking.
villain.
We're the number one city for
Oh,
human
yeah,
trafficking
that
in the
sucks.
entire United States.
Oh, man, that blows.
It's not a good
But give us
statistic.
give
My
us
point
a-
is, you could fight that.
You can. Give us a
Yeah.
hero and a villain,
Yep.
and let us keep them.
Right. Okay.
Marvel.
So now we're getting into more general shit about Spider-Man.
Trivia.
Trivia, fun facts, little shit that I
Spider
found.
trivia,
So,
man.
do you remember when it came out? Like when the original one? Came?
This the
No. The first.
Oh,
issue.
shit, no.
Just a guess.
49.
No, it was 62. I thought you were gonna get kind of close.
Ah, man.
But yeah, it was right in the 60s. It was like prime time for what's his name? The Stan Lee and Ditko and all those guys for making up new heroes.
Oh, right,
It was
right.
in the boom of they needed new heroes. So they're like trying to like think of new shit, new superheroes to do. And there's so many arguments that I read about who decided what, who came up with the idea for what, who did this part of it, who did that part of it. They literally agree on fucking nothing.
Damn.
There's like 5 guys that are like, yeah, I did that part.
I did that.
Like the costume. One guy goes, yeah, I did that costume, except it was going to be orange and purple. That's not the same
So
costume
that's not
then.
the costume.
Yeah. So that gives you an idea of the kind of argument these dudes were having. All very famous and semi-wealthy men that did not need to be arguing. It was so they could get more wealthy, wasn't it?
Probably.
To take ownership somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they...
Yeah, normally you want more.
Yes. So one of the things that that Stan Lee admits to getting as a inspiration was a pulp character. He wasn't called anything to do with the spider, I don't think. And
It's a long name.
but he was like a private eye type of guy, and the police hated him when we're searching for him. It's long. The underground is searching for him, so he's like hated by everybody. The news hates him and shit. He what else were they saying? Oh, he basically has a sixth sense because he's been in the game so long that he sees somebody like eye twitching or like they shifted and he kind of saw the end of a gun. So he's kind of got spider sense too.
Right.
So there's all these small things that he used as inspiration and put all together to make Spider-Man. So another big thing with Spider-Man was that he was completely covered from head to toe.
Right.
And that was, they say, I don't know if this
I've heard
retroactive
this rumors, yeah.
made up or not to sound good, but they said, oh, that way you don't know if he's white or he's black or Asian.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, it
So
could be anyone
everyone
under
can
there.
identify, no matter who it is. Maybe it's even a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's retroactively what they
A
said.
flat-chested woman with a large bulge in her crotch.
Yeah, she's very good at tricking people.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the Spider-Man who's completely covered, head to toe. Nobody knows who he is. He's a kid, and he's
Mm-hmm.
not a sidekick. He's not.
Oh yeah,
That's a big thing they mentioned in
right.
like the
Because with Captain, I guess Bucky would have
Bucky.
been around.
I mean, Batman, Robin.
Batman and Robin,
It's
yeah.
just it gave you a list in there just of like so many.
How old was he when he came out? What do you?
Oh,
offhand, do you know?
I think it was 14 or 15.
Nice,
I
so-
think it was 15 actually.
yeah, Robin's like
he was in high
12.
school.
Okay,
He
cool.
he's in high school and he's not rich.
I never thought of that.
He's
yeah.
not rich.
Uh-huh.
His life is far from perfect.
A lot of problems we deal with.
That was the huge thing.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
They're saying that a lot of people say that this is one of the things that really contributed to people really liking him was he was trying to figure out how to pay the rent.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting bad grades. The girl didn't like him.
Yeah.
Like all the real shit. And comic books were like, Thor, I'm a god.
Yeah,
Bitches love me. My
Yeah.
life is literally perfect.
I've seen people upset when Peter's not in school.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is like Spider-Man is young and in school.
Yeah,
This is how
that's
it should be.
And you know what's funny? He actually was only in the original run. He was only young for a little while.
Right. And
They aged him up real quick, and then they pulled back on it eventually. And then they aged him up again, which
yeah,
was
and
smart.
I've seen real young.
And what they did was they made the Ultimate Spider-Man. So that
Right.
way you can have a young Spider-Man and an aging Spider-Man, which gets you best of both worlds, baby. All the money.
And then they kill the Ultimate Spider-Man, and we get a young black one.
yeah, who
And then
actually
they
ended up being awesome.
And then they destroy the universe and bring the young black Spider-Man to the
our-
616
'cause he's so popular.
universe. Yeah, because everyone loved him.
Originally, people hated him. You remember that? They were saying
Oh, yeah,
forced
yeah.
diversity.
Well, also people are dumb and racist
bullshit.
too.
And then that was
Yeah.
before they had any idea if he was going to be good or not.
Yeah, and he
was
turned out to
well-written.
be awesome.
He was great.
So,
people are idiots.
real quick, while we're on this,
Yeah.
what other Spider characters do you like?
Yes. So obviously we talked about
Scarlet.
Scarlet Spider. The Jessica Drew, which is the
That's
Spider
her
Woman.
name.
She
That's
like
her name.
flies and has like
Okay,
pew, pew, pew.
I don't like her.
Yeah.
I don't-
She's so different.
She's not.
Is she an alien or something?
I don't remember.
No, she's not.
But she should not be Spider Woman.
She shouldn't be called Spider Woman.
should not
She
be
has no
called
Spider Woman powers.
Silk. Now
Ooh.
Silk. Yes, Silk is.
I know
that's
why.
that's her name. Cindy Moon.
Yeah.
Silk was bit by the same exact
spider, yeah,
So
yeah,
the spider bit Peter, it fucked off, and eventually it found Cindy Moon.
Yeah.
She is the only closest actual, besides a straight clone of Peter.
Yeah.
She is the closest thing to a brother, sister,
Yes,
partner.
I'd agree. I didn't know that's how it happened, though.
Yeah,
I didn't remember
she is
that.
the actual Spider Woman, Spider Girl.
That's dope.
So she's legit. I don't know how Spider Gwen. I'm pretty sure she just got bit by a spider because she's the Spider Man
Yeah,
of that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
universe.
yeah. You're right.
I do like Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Ghost Spider's outfit's really dope, but I've never seen anything she's done besides the movies.
Oh, okay.
So she's
Yeah,
whatever. Scarlet, I really do love Silk.
Yes.
On top of being just like she
Fine.
looks cool. I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, she bad as hell.
Yeah.
But she looks awesome,
Yeah.
and I just appreciate the fact
Her
that she
costume
is
is
the
sick.
actual Spider Girl
Yes.
that is bit by
That's
the
cool.
same.
It's cool.
Same spider
Yeah.
too, which is really cool.
I'm
And I
surprised
don't
they
like
hadn't done that before.
what.
Made somebody that got bit by the exact same spider.
Yeah, she's the one, and she is not popular at all.
No,
Most
no,
people do
definitely
not
not.
know about her.
And her
the
costume
her
is
name is
sick.
so badass,
So sick.
and her name is Silk. There's no spider reference in it at all, besides the fact spiders
Genius.
make silk
Genius.
webs. But
Love it.
yeah. Anyway, I thought that's
So I
interesting.
thought of another one, obviously. Honestly, Miguel O'Hara. Whenever I
Oh,
was a
fuck.
kid,
Yeah.
I was a kid, used to get those individual comics, bro.
Yeah.
I'd buy $20.99.
I'm not a big sci-fi guy, so I don't like the future stuff
up my
too
alley
much.
like a motherfucker.
Oh, Spider-Man Noir is pretty cool.
Really? See, I did actually.
I read
didn't like
I read
Spider-Man Noir.
I read a comic about Spider-Man Noir, which was very dope.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the comic.
Really?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was really funny in the movie. So
I read we were talking about this the other day. I read it at, I think it was there at Barnes and Noble when they had new issues on the rack. I feel like I did.
Oh, Noir?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it had a limited run.
It was
I don't,
short.
I don't know what they did
don't
afterwards.
know.
But yeah, I was like, oh, this is interesting. One, because he's all black and he wears he rocks a gun. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That part got me interested. What got me interested?
And I know there's a lot of other ones. Spider-Punk. There's
so many
ridiculous
I
amounts.
looked kind of because when I was doing some of this research,
I don't like the Peter, but the armored Spider-Man that was gray and black from the 90s.
Oh my God, the armor! Yeah,
Because the dude is like a rich prick.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
a
right,
rich
that's
Peter
right, that's
Parker.
right.
But the suit is so awesome. I had that toy and it was my favorite.
it kind of made sense too. It
was
didn't
my
look
favorite.
fantastical armor. It was kind of like if you were gonna make armor, that's kind of what armor would look like.
Oh yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It was not fancy.
Not at all. And
No.
but I love the color scheme. It was my favorite.
You had the toy,
I had the toy.
That's dope.
And I used to make him and Terminator fight.
right? That's awesome. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
T2, the Arnold.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is so random and no segue, but this shit got me fucking rolling.
I got you.
So,
Segway.
oh, thanks, dude. Okay. So in 2014, Spider-Man merchandise, everything, blah, 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 brought in, no, just the merchandise, brought in $1.3 billion.
Holy shit. When?
And
2014?
2014.
2014.
And then in that same year, Batman, Superman, Avengers made less than that in that year.
And that was
That
Andrew
specific
Garfield,
year.
2014.
Yeah,
that was
that's
Amazing
so-
Spider-Man.
It's only that specific year where it did so, like, compared to the other ones. But on that year, it just dominated everybody.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Fucking insane.
And that Marvel was already releasing their shit. at
Oh,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wild. Spider-Man merch, huh?
Yeah, it was just like an off year for.
What's the craziest
regular-
Spider-Man merch you had? Do you remember?
Oh, dude, when I
Anything?
was a kid, dude, I had some silly hats.
Yeah.
Some, like, I think they had, like, stick out, like, almost like pop-up Spider-Man head. And then underwear. I definitely had underwear. I think I had a toothbrush.
Oh, yeah, I had a toothbrush.
Toothbrush.
I also had a light switch cover, and
it was his
the
dick?
switch was his dick. Yeah,
Yes!
exactly. It was
Those are
awesome.
amazing.
No, I had a tin
You just sat there and
trash
flicked
can.
it back and forth.
Oh yeah, just. I was a tin trash can, and then I had this weird pillow that was just his head.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
Yeah, it was cool. Hella coloring books. For some reason, it's in my head. I loved Spider-Man coloring books when I was a kid. They were my
Really?
favorite.
Specifically,
Yeah, because I
Spider-Man?
can make them green and purple. I can do
Yes.
purple and gray for this
I did
Spider-Man.
that shit too.
And I loved it because I loved Spider-Man.
It's
Spider-Man,
like dress up for boys.
Exactly. Spider-Man, X-Men, and I guess those were definitely my favorites when I was young. Spider-Man and X-Men were
Oh, yeah, X-Men
like
was
first
my
loves
favorite.
and shit. And then I did like Thor a lot because I just thought he was,
Really?
yeah, I love the Out of Time,
Man, out of time. type
and I
thing.
love that, I love fantasy.
That makes sense. I don't know
Yeah.
why I was surprised.
I've
by
always
that.
been down for that,
Yeah.
so that was always. But Spider-Man definitely up there, man.
Yeah,
Loved it.
He's considered in a lot of polls in the top 3 almost all the time for most popular.
Right, if you were to
superheroes.
ask, just
Across the
name
world.
3 superheroes, he probably
Yes, he's
yeah.
up there. A lot of times he's number 1 even, and then most of the times he's in the top. 3.
Yeah, I would say Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, and not even in that order.
No, not necessarily.
Probably be what, Superman, Spider-Man, then Batman.
Nah, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe, probably.
Probably in America it might be different. but
Right.
across the world, I think it's Superman.
Yeah, they
Batman,
both had a rack of
Spider-Man.
movies. They
Because
both have great
the
cartoons.
exposure besides the comic.
Exactly.
Random tidbit: there's been 9 Spider-Man movies so far, and they're literally making 3 more like right now. And I was like, wait, 3 more?
Is-
What the hell are they making?
So they're doing the Spider-Verse, another Spider-Verse.
Maybe okay.
I don't know if this is real. I saw a Spider-Man horror movie coming out starring Chandler Riggs, Carl from The Walking Dead, as Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Oh, it's a good edit, a fan edit. or
I guess
whatever.
so. I don't know if it's real, but it looked like a real movie.
They use footage from movies that people don't know about.
Yeah, right. So what? 3 Tobey Maguire, 2 Andrew Garfield, 3 what's his name? Tom Holland, and then 2 animated movies.
So then that was older then. I should have. That was relevant to the time. I should have checked when this goddamn article was done, because obviously it's not correct, and I didn't double check it.
And then that's not counting Civil War or Avengers.
Yeah, I don't think they were counting those.
Probably not. Just solo Spider-Man movies. Yeah. And there's animated ones.
Yeah.
Like Marvel animated stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't there?
No, not from their regular animation studio.
There isn't a Spider-Man movie.
Because of the Sony shit.
Oh, that's right.
And that was before when they were actively making those animated ones. At the time, Sony still completely owned Spider-Man.
Yeah, so they couldn't make them. Mm-hmm. I do remember Spider-Man popping in on the X-Men cartoon show.
Yes.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Where
used to sell
could punch anybody.
Yeah, but they couldn't touch him. They even put him in the danger room, and he was like, this ain't shit.
Oh, nice.
It was dope. Yeah. I love Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's the shit.
Yeah, like you said, relatable. So it's
that's one of the first things that got him popular, and what has kept him popular over the many, many years that it's been around.
It's obtainable, relatable.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We're gonna do these once a month right now, and I believe next week we had a request from Cuzzo. What's up, Cuzzo? Mm-hmm. He wanted us to do
not next week.
Not next week. Sorry, next episode. Sorry,
next time.
Fuck, man.
Get it right, boy.
Nah, but he requested Ninja Turtles, which I feel would fit because they've been around a while, and it's just the name. So who cares?
Like I said, even Superman technically is not 100.
That's true.
But it's old.
So
it's close.
If anyone's hearing these and they like this episode, they like this show that we have, send in requests.
Yeah.
Old comics, mainstream comics, any character you're interested to hear about.
Stuff that's been around for a little while.
Obviously, yeah.
A little while at least.
Yeah. And we'll look into it. We'll try and do it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah, so I talked about pretty much everything I wanted to say, like all my silly little facts. Oh, no. I'm so glad I checked. Okay,
no, so we ain't got enough time. Goodbye. Bye, everyone.
There was a list of names, just names that he went by, and I only wrote down a couple, but some of them I really like. I didn't. Okay, here's so some of the normal ones like Spidey, Webhead, Wallcrawler, and then it starts getting a little more. One's Web Spinner, which I definitely have never heard.
Never heard that one.
Hornet.
Ooh.
Dusk. Weird. Ricochet, which I think maybe was when he did the gun thing or something.
Dusk.
Yes. Dusk and Captain Universe. You remember that? Mm-hmm. When he got the ultimate powers or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's just, like I said, there was literally like a list of like 20.
So was Dusk a different outfit?
I didn't see. It was a list of names.
I might have to look that up.
We will. Well, definitely.
That's cool.
There was like 10 or so that I was like, oh, I've heard that before. And then it just started getting weirder and weirder to names that I definitely have never heard. For sure. I just wanted to mention
so
that.
Many years, 100 years of continuity.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. That was the whole point. So if somebody comes up there and be like, man, I really liked Ricochet's outfit, blah, blah, blah. You'll know that it is Spider-Man they're talking about.
Possibly. Or a
no,
character
it's not.
called Ricochet.
No one would ever call him Ricochet.
No, why the fuck
wouldn't
would
happen. All right, guys. I rambled on for long enough. You have a good night. You listen. We're on Spotify, YouTube, all the platforms for listening to podcasts. Literally all of them. Mm-hmm. Check us out. Do the internet stuff. Give us a poke. Give us a like. Text us. Right? That's what it's called, right?
Text Adam.
Do all those internet things.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here with us.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.